Hi, welcome to Fun Science with Rohini. Today I will narrate a lore associated with the most famous physicist, Albert Einstein. He is the most famous, at least to me, because I grew up watching him very fascinated with his hair. And I always adored Einstein so much that probably he could have been the reason why I came into science. And today I'll tell you the story of how he came up with the special theory of relativity. Theory of special relativity, it is called. I'll try to put it in very simple words. The theory of special relativity states that light, the speed of light, is always constant in a vacuum. And no matter at what speed the observer or the onlooker is traveling, the speed of light is always constant. And as an object, as an object approaches the speed of light, its mass becomes infinite. Or simply put, nothing or no one can travel faster than light. Two things of this theory which I understand. The speed of light is always constant, no matter at what speed the person who's looking is traveling at. And no matter how hard you try, you cannot beat the speed of light. That's the theory of special relativity. Now, I will tell you the story associated with how Einstein came up with this. Einstein was fascinated with two scientists, Newton and Maxwell. And both of them worked on great theories of physics. And Newton worked on gravity, as you all know. And Maxwell worked on light. Now, Newton was trying to combine these two things 200 years after they were proposed. And somehow he couldn't find any connection between the two. It always happens. In many things we don't find the connection, and Einstein wasn't convinced. So he worked and worked and worked on it like all the other scientists did. And Einstein went to his good friend Besso, and he started talking to Besso. And he used Besso as a sounding board for his ideas. And he spoke at length to Besso about the idea of special relativity. It wasn't called special relativity when it was being discussed about. He was talking about this idea of light, speed of light. And he was, by the end of so many hours, he could not come up with anything logical. Einstein could not come up with anything logical, that he was so disappointed and he was depressed, and he told Besso that he's going to leave things as they are, and he has given up, he has failed, and he said he wouldn't work on it anymore. He was that depressed. Einstein saying that he'll give up on a problem and never work on it ever again. And then he was coming back home in a streetcar. Streetcar is like a tram. Trams in Calcutta. Trains that run on the roads. He was coming back in a streetcar, and after he came back home, this all happened in Bern in 1905. After he came back home, Einstein was still depressed. He was still dejected with being unable to come up with something logical. And he started thinking of the day's events. And one thing that struck him, or one image that was fixed predominantly in his brain, was Einstein traveling in the streetcar and looking at the clock tower in Bern. Now, Bern's clock tower is also supposed to be very big and dominates the city. So Einstein, again, you cannot come out of an idea unless you have a conclusion to it. Otherwise, it keeps nagging you. That happens to anybody. And that happened to Einstein also. And he started thinking about speed of an object again. And he wondered, what if the streetcar in which he was traveling moved so fast away from the clock tower in Bern that the streetcar is traveling at the speed of light. That is 3 lakh kilometers a second. 5 zeros after 3 kilometers per second. That's the speed of light. And he thought that what if the streetcar has raced so much that it is traveling at the speed of light, and then he would look back at the clock tower to note the time. And then he thought that if anybody travels at 3 lakh kilometers per second and looks back at some other time, the clock wouldn't move. The clock wouldn't move because in 1 second you're 3 lakh kilometers away. From one point to the other point you reach so fast that the clock doesn't tick. It appears to have stopped. But the clock on your hand, which is traveling at the same speed that you are, and you are both in the same motion, you look at it, it is ticking. And then Einstein came up with this theory of space and time and light being the fastest traveler, and no matter what you do, you cannot beat the speed of light. And he told that if you travel very fast, time slows down. Time slows down very, very much based on the speed of the object. You travel fast, time slows down. So he said that 1 second on Earth is not equal to 1 second on Moon, 1 second on Jupiter, 1 second on Saturn, 1 second on any other planet, or 1 second across the universe. Time is different across the universe, and time is based on the speed at which the traveler is traveling. And to explain this very simply, because my videos are aimed at children and I don't know if the kids got this point, so I'll tell you. If a boy is traveling in a train, this is my favorite, and Galileo is supposed to have said this. A boy is traveling in a train and there are few passengers in the train, and the boy is walking at a speed in the train. So the people who are sitting inside the train look at the boy and they think that he is walking at certain speed, 1 meter per second or 1 meter in 10 seconds. He is working at a certain speed. And then a man standing stationary on the platform, is looking at the moving train and the boy moving in the train, and he thinks that the boy is moving at a different speed because he is stationary, train is already moving, the boy is walking in the train. To him, it appears different. He seems to go faster or at a different speed. Then a person flying in the aeroplane, this is an impossible explanation, but it's an explanation anyways, it's a thought anyways. A person who's flying in an aeroplane looks down at the same train, and the boy who's walking in the train, like I told you, it's already impossible, finds out that the boy is walking at a different speed. So the frame is the same. The boy walking inside a train. The situation is the same. But people perceive it differently. You look at the same thing with different interpretations. And Einstein said that time everywhere across the universe is different, and it is based on the speed at which you travel. And no matter at what speed you travel, you cannot beat the speed of light. And laws of physics are same for all objects which are not in motion. I'll not tell this, but the conclusion is speed of light is constant. No matter how hard you try, you cannot beat the speed of light. That's the theory of special relativity. Thank you.